So we're going to try it again. Okay, it is 5 o'clock and we are starting our virtual sewing club. I'm keeping the youth videos blank. I am Miss Prudence and we have Miss Mary here with us. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Mary, I'm going to mute you and have you help me. So what we're going to do, we've got the chat box open and we're going to play a little game to get us to break the ice and get us started. And if you have been working through your under construction book, some of these things you may not have seen, but you read about. So what we're going to do is I have a sewing box sitting next to me on my desk. And what I'm going to do is Sophia, I'm going to pull something out, and then the first one in the chat box with what it is correctly, or you guys can shout out. Either way you want to do it, whatever's easier for you. I don't know how easy it is going to be for y'all to type. But so I'm just going to reach in. Maybe I should peek. There are sharp objects in here. Okay. I've got an item. Who knows what this item is? It has a handle on it. And then that is the top, the front of it. Okay, Grace. Abigail, you want to give it a shot?
Stitch ripper.
A stitch ripper, a seam ripper. Yes, all of y'all got that right. Good job. And that is what a seam ripper looks like. And so we're going to move on to the next item here. Who knows what this is?
Sticker. It's kind of like a tomato that you stick pins in, like a pin holder.
Yes, it's a pin cushion. A pin cushion, excuse me. A pin cushion, yes. And so you can see I've got all kinds of pins stuck in here. Now,
can you guys hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Sophia.
Oh, it's a pin cushion.
Yes, good job. Now, here's the extra points. What is the little strawberry that hangs off of the tomato? Who knows that?
Needle sharpener.
Good job, Grace. That's exactly what it is. So if you have one of these at home and you feel this, it's got some sand in it. And what you do is you just put your needle in there and the sand acts as an abrasion and it will sharpen the needle for you. So
cool.
if you didn't know that, you've learned something new today. So there's your pin cushion and your needle sharpener. Okay, and then I'm going to...
Does anybody get a check for that one? You have to tell me who wins.
Oh, contesting? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody got that one.
Everybody?
Yes, and Jenna just joined. So again, that's the name I'm gonna shout out during this because your thing says Jenna. So
yes, that is Jenna.
Okay, if it's Jenna, that's perfect. So what we're doing is we're playing an identification game for you. So the next item is really hard to show you. What type of needle, what kind of sewing would you use this needle for? That's the sharp end.
Sewing machine?
Yeah.
Nope. I didn't. Was there a hole at the bottom?
This is the top, and there's an eye on the top, and then this is a sharp point at the end.
Is there any eye at the bottom? I couldn't see.
Hand sewing?
The eye is on the top, and yes, Sophia, it's for hand sewing. And this needle is actually, I know it's kind of hard for y'all to tell, but it's a pretty big needle. That's my finger, and it's almost the whole length of my finger. So the eye of, and I grabbed this one out so that we could probably see
You
it.
still
So
have small fingers though.
the eye of this needle is pretty substantial, and this one would be, I would use this for embroidery because it's got such a thick eye. So, and I do have small fingers, but that's still a big needle. Okay, we have this one.
Safety pin?
Yes, good job, Sophia. Okay, and then I have, this is very difficult because I'm trying to figure out where my, what would y'all call that?
Pin?
Yeah, pin.
A
Would
what?
that be a pin? A pin.
A pen?
Yes.
Okay. I would call it a straight pen. Like if I said, give me a pen, I don't need to write anything. I would need a straight pen. But that's what I would call that. But yes, that's for pinning fabric together. Good job. And they come in all varieties. I have these flat ones. See, they're flat. And you can go over top of fabric a little easier than those with the big bulbs on them when you're sewing fast. Okay, so I'm going back into the sewing box. Does anybody know what this is?
Some sort of ruler.
It doesn't look like a normal ruler though, does it?
Measuring
I never said it was
I
normal.
might know what it is. I might know what it is. A cloth ruler?
Is it
Well,
measuring?
Fabric
A-
ruler?
Fabric cutter?
I can't see it, so.
No, it's just a ruler, but you can see it's got these little slides on it.
Ooh, my Nana knows.
I'm just gonna say a fabric cutter.
Okay. This is, who said their Nana knew?
Me, Abigail.
What does she say it is?
We haven't been talking a lot about sewing, and my mom has one, but she doesn't know what it's called, and I can't call my Nana right now.
Oh, I thought she was there with you. I apologize. Yes, so this is
That's
a hem measuring stick. So when you're measuring the hem, like if you're recreating a garment, or if you want to make sure that you have a 1 inch or a 1/2 inch hem on everything that you're making, that's what this is for. And
You can also, when you're ironing and a pattern tells you to fold it over 1/4 inch and iron it or press it, that comes in handy for that also. Smart.
Measuring tape.
yes, this is a
Probably
tape
administration
measure,
work.
and it's a soft tape measure that is for wrapping around. So you can wrap around things if you need to. Okay, and we've got the Pierces joining as well, Mary. And I have someone in the waiting room I'm not admitting because there is no name there. Now this is another tape measure, just a different variety. And it has a neat little button on the back that pulls it back.
Hey, are both Pierce girls here? Are both Liberty and are both Liberty and Charity?
It just says Pierce on the thing.
Okay.
We're both
This-
on. Liberty is trying to join.
Is Liberty using a weird number for her name?
I don't know. Let me go check.
Yeah, if it's 10015685, she needs to change her name to Liberty so that I'll let her in, because I'm not letting in a weird number. I was getting ready to kick her out completely. Okay, back into the box. Now these next three are going to be tricky, just so y'all know.
Fabric scissors.
What?
Try
Fabric
again.
scissors?
They're not.
Ooh, then I don't know what that is.
No idea.
So
They look like my fabric scissors.
well, they technically, I mean, you could call them scissors.
They look
So-
exactly like cloth scissors.
but
There's
these-
something you cut with.
but they are technically called shears. Okay,
Oh,
so this is a shear, and it's the all metal design. And then I do have a couple of other pairs of, so these would be cloth scissors.
Those look exactly like mine.
Are they yours? No, I'm kidding. They're not yours. Okay, so these are fabric scissors. And these are another pair of fabric scissors.
Okay, how do we tell the difference between shears, scissors, and fabric versus other?
Okay, so your
Magic.
scissors are going to be one of the most important things in your sewing kit. So if you're going to have a pair of scissors that are for cloth, what is one thing you never want to cut with them?
Paper.
Very good, Sophia. Awesome. Yes, because paper scissors that are designed to cut paper are much different than scissors that are designed to cut fabric, and they will dull fabric scissors. Paper will dull fabric scissors so fast. And just so your fabric scissors that are in your sewing box, you never, ever, 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 never, ever cut paper with them. Okay. So when you get your fabric scissors, you want, like, these are obvious to me, fabric scissors, because I know that these go with my sewing kit and they're protected.
Ooh.
Okay. And they stay in my sewing kit. Now these are shears, and shears can be resharpened. So if you have a knife sharpening person, I would not attempt to sharpen these yourself. But if you have somebody that can sharpen knives, these are a higher quality piece of equipment. And these were actually my great aunt's. So a lot of the stuff I'm showing you tonight was hers, and she was born in 1919. So these things are old, and they've lasted a very long time. So these are fabric shears versus just regular fabric scissors that are, for lack of a better analogy, disposable. Does that make sense?
What?
And she has
Okay.
one more thing in here. Has anybody ever seen scissors that look like this?
Yes.
Grace, I know you have. You know what
Yes.
they're called,
Maybe.
Grace?
Maybe I've seen some of those. I've seen them at my classroom, but I'm not sure if they're used for sewing.
I'm also seeing them right now.
Okay, so when they have this zigzagged blade on them, what that does is when you cut a piece of material, it's going to cut that zigzag into the piece of material. And these are called pinking shears.
I was correct, but I had it on mute.
Oh,
Who is
Well
that?
then, Sophia, good job, Sophia. Okay, so pinking shears will create a zigzag pattern on your material when you cut them. And you may, in your classroom, you may see some scissors like this that have a wavier line or maybe have a scalloped line. And
I have some of those for my scrapbooking.
yes, I was going to say, so your teacher might use those for scrapbooking. Those are made to cut paper. They're a different kind of material. These are made to cut fabric. Okay, and Miss Mary, when would you use pinking shears versus a regular pair of shears?
What's
When
the difference between paper shears and sewing shears? Like, they're kind of the same thing, right?
No, they're basically made the same, but if you're going to have you need a sharp, sharp, sharp pair of scissors to cut through fabric. And if you use your fabric, excuse me, scissors on paper, it will dull your scissors.
Oh,
Miss Mary,
So
when would
there's
you
the
use pinking shears?
You would use pinking shears when you have material that you don't want to ravel on the edge of something.
Very good. And then you would have a decorative edge to it as well. Okay, so we're going back in the basket. We'll stay with the same theme.
I know that.
I think that's also to cut fabric, right?
What's it called?
Yes.
Does anybody know?
Oh, I don't know what it's called though. I know what it does, but I don't know what it's called.
Huh? Yeah. If you know it, say it.
Go ahead, Grace.
fabric cutter.
It's a fabric pizza slicer.
Grace, did you have an answer?
She's typing it in.
No,
Oh,
I'm not.
no, she's not.
I'm gonna let others,
Excuse
I'm
me.
gonna let others do it.
She said she's got so many checks, she was going to let somebody else try to get it.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay,
'Cause
so
we're going-
I just call them
prizes.
rolly cutters.
a rolly cutter, that's very,
Rolly
very
cutter?
close, Abigail. It is actually called a rotary cutter. And so if you can look at this, and this is difficult to show on a Zoom call, but there is a safety mechanism. You just lower this with your thumb, and then it exposes that blade, which is very, very sharp. Sharp, sharp, sharp.
Yeah, that's ER sharp.
So like,
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
touch
yeah.
kids. Don't let kids
So
touch
this,
it.
no,
Nope.
this is for more
I think I got
advanced
one
cutting, but we will get to the point where we're going to use a rotary cutter. If we're going to do a quilt, this is going to become our friend, and we're going to learn how to use it, and we're going to learn how to do it safely. Okay.
Hope my
So,
mom has one.
I hope my mom has one.
well, they're pretty inexpensive, but remember, you never ever want to cut paper with them. They're not for scrapbooking. Okay, so in here, I don't know if y'all can see that.
Looks like a mess. That's what it looks like.
You know what that is?
I do know what that is. I have one.
Yeah.
Is it the same one? Does it have bunnies on it?
No, ours has little old people.
It has children on it.
Ours has bunnies. Does anybody have an idea except for Grace?
I can't see it.
It's kind of, there we go.
Is that
Grace,
to
a
clip
fabric
back
clip?
together?
Yeah,
Maybe it's a fabric clip.
yeah, exactly. It's like a binder clip, but for fabric. And they're really nice when you're sewing because you don't have to stop, pull a straight pin out. You can just unclip it and push it to the side. And then when you're done, you put them all back in the box. So those are fabric clips.
Like you're
Good job.
sitting on about it.
And has anybody ever seen one of these? What's that? Has
Is
no
it
one
a
ever
button
seen-
kit?
Do what?
Is it a button kit?
Emergency- An emergency small sewing kit.
That's right. It's a little sewing kit. So you've got, if a button falls off, there's a button in here, and there's some string close enough to match, and there's a sewing needle and a safety pin. So this is just a little small emergency sewing kit that was given to somebody by their bank. So it's just a little freebie thing, but nice to have in your wallet. Should your friend's button fall off, you can help them out.
What if they're like
Okay,
low quality?
so here is something else we're going to show you guys tonight, you ladies. Has anybody ever seen anything like this? It looks like tape, but it's see-through.
I think it's
See-through
lace.
What?
See-through tape.
It looks a lot like lace.
kind of like lace. It's not lace though.
Fabric
What's
tape.
its texture?
Stitch wavery.
Say it again.
Stitch wavery.
Stitch.
It's a stitch tape, but you don't use needles, I think.
It's iron on.
It's an iron on.
It's iron on. Is that what you were saying too, Sophia? Yes. So this is called hem tape, and you can see it's nice and wide. And so what you would do is you would put your 2 layers of fabric
so much in
and
place.
iron it, and this will hold your hem while you sew it. This is not in place of sewing. Okay, it is not in place of sewing. Some people do that and then it's on a hot day it falls out. That'd be bad.
Okay.
Okay, now we've got this. Anybody ever seen any of this? That may just tell you what that is.
Chapstick. Oh, wait, no.
Elastic. That's right. The elastic is very hard to find these days, but yes. So the elastic comes in all sizes. This is nice and thick. Elastic?
I don't know what half of this stuff is.
It did look like chapstick at first.
It's chapstick. Isn't that chalk?
What is that she's holding up now?
Aren't those chalk pencils?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Say it.
Chalk pencils.
Chalk pencils. I've got one person that says chalk pencils. Somebody says colored pencils or chalk.
Those are China markers.
Who said that?
China markers, me.
Is it? Say your name, me. Is that Sophia?
Sophia.
Sophia, yes. Sophia. These are technically called China markers. Do you know why they're called that?
Because they're from China.
No. No, so these will mark on anything. Okay. So they will mark, this is, these 2 are the ones that my husband uses mainly when we do upholstery. And they will mark on leather, they will mark on wood, they will mark on glass, they will mark on vinyl, whatever you need them to mark on. Some people you'll hear say, I need a grease pencil. They'll call them that too. This is not grease and it's not chalk. It's China markers. I don't know what it is, but it washes off. And so we have white ones for dark fabric and dark ones for light fabric. And the interesting thing about China markers, these, if you can see this is kind of difficult to show you. There's a little string here, and to sharpen this, you pull that string. I'll do it on this one. And then it cuts this paper, and then you just peel the paper off and it starts to expose it a little more. See, it just turns all the way. Oops, I broke it. I broke it. Hang on. So it'll unpeel. I got to set these other 2 down. I apologize. It's taking a minute. And then it unravels the whole thing all the way up. And I've lost my edge. There we go. So that's how you sharpen these. You don't stick these in a pencil sharpener because this is full all the way through with the grease all the way at the bottom. So those are China markers, and that's how you deal with those. And we got one more thing, a couple more things.
Bobbin.
Actually. Bobbin, good job, Sophia.
Thimble.
Who said that?
Grace.
Grace, good job. And then we have, what is this called?
Thread.
What kind?
Thread or a spool.
A spool
The kind
of
of thread
thread.
you use in your fabric.
That's right. So you're gonna, this is called a spool of thread. And when you say spool, it's understood that it's this size. Now, some of the bigger machines use what's called a cone of thread, and it's understood to be about this big. It's about 5 or 6 inches tall, and that's a whole bunch of thread. So this is what we're going to be using on our machines, is a spool of thread.
One of those, Mom.
Is that normal size thread?
Yes, that's normal size thread is a spool. Okay, and then I showed, I don't know how I'm going to show these. The
Machine
needles.
Say it again.
Machine needles.
Machine needles, that's right. So the
Sophia said
hole
that as
is
well.
down here by the point. Very
When
good.
Sophia. Mom,
Okay,
when I get one.
so I'm going to put all this stuff back in my sewing basket. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen because I have something exciting to show y'all that we're going to be able to have at our disposal. And Miss Mary and I worked on this all day today, and we were worried we were not going to be able to get this done prior to this evening, but we managed to get enough of it done to share with you guys. So you do not need to get your sewing machine out. All right, I'm going to share my screen.
More.
Okay. And Mary, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, there's not a green line around it. Okay, so we now have a Santa Rosa County 4-H Sewing Club website. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send everybody this link for this website. And so that y'all can all have access to it. But tonight, real quick, I'm just going to show you a few things. Now, I know some of y'all do not have the Singer M3300 series machines, but if you watch these videos, then you can easily work your machine. And I know someone's not got a Singer, or actually several people don't have Singer machines. So this shows you the basic parts of the machine. We're not going to go through this tonight just for y'all's time's sake. Y'all can watch this at your own leisure, but I am going to go through the website and let you see what we've got going on. So this is the sewing machine basics. This shows you how, and when you click on it, I'll click on it for you just so that you can see what's going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to have a YouTube video pop up. Okay. So I'm going to pause that. And Target has low prices. Okay. So
Yep.
we're going to go back to the website. And then, so these are all 4 different videos that you can watch. The How a Bobbin Works video is really interesting, and I learned a lot watching that. And now if you go up to the home button, we have our virtual meeting schedule. Now this website is going to become updated, and it will be a living, breathing thing by the time all of this is over. This video will be embedded into today's meeting. And so if you click on each day, Mary and I have set up a schedule over the out to the middle of July right now. Then, excuse me, we're going to add some more information and try and get all the way out to August with the meetings. So what'll happen is when you click on the date, so today is this date, we're going to click on that. And these are the things that we wanted y'all to have done prior to the meeting. Now, I know a few of you have sent me photos. Some of y'all have had issues with getting me videos or photos, and that's fine. But this will help get you on track. And we're going to keep the club going throughout the summer. Even though y'all may have vacations and not be able to come to the meetings, what we're going to do is then we're going to put the video of the saved meeting onto our website so that if you miss something, you don't really miss anything. You'll be able to go back and look and see. So we've got bobbins filled. If you've sewn 2 pieces of material together, and remember to vary that stitch length so you can see what that looked like.
We forgot that.
And then we had asked you to get 2 fat quarters of fabric and pre-wash those. You definitely want to pre-wash those. So fat quarters are about 1/4 of a yard, and you can get all sorts of fat quarters at the fabric store, or even Walmart has a pretty good selection. And that's where I got mine, was at Walmart. Now, you can see the next meeting, we don't have an assignment for you yet because we're going to figure that out tonight, what you guys need to do. So as we move along, we're going to go down to safety. And in the safety section, there's several great videos for y'all to watch, because these are things that you're going to be using. And you can see right here, there's that rotary cutter, and she talks about that. So that's a really excellent video. And this talks about how easy it is to sew your fingers. And I've done that, so I don't recommend it. And then we're going to learn about how to use an iron. I know some of you may know how to use an iron, but we're going to just go over those videos to make sure that you understand, because the amount of ironing that y'all are going to have to do is probably more than you've all done in your whole entire lives up to this point already. There's a lot of ironing involved. Now, the next area that is going to always grow and change with us is the patterns and project area of our website. And so if you take a look, we can see we've got one project on here, and this is what we're going to work on until we meet again. So what we're going to do is, if you just click this, and again, we're going to send out the link for this website. So if you click this crayon roll, it's going to pull up a PDF document, and this first page just shows you what that crayon roll looks like. And again, if you're not using crayons, if you're using colored pencils, or if you're using markers or Sharpies or just regular ink pens. I love pens, so I have lots of them. That would be, we're going to change just a few things to make sure that our project is long enough to cover those pens up. So what this
crochet hooks, Prudence.
Oh yeah, you can do your crochet hooks or even knitting hooks.
I'm thinking about doing scalpels,
crocheting project right now. But so this shows you what you're going to need to have to make this material, or the materials you're going to have. And again, fabric, shears, a sewing machine, thread, and the thread color. I would recommend to pick out your thread when you get your material. And if this is, you're starting a new sewing box, just know you're going to have thousands of colors of thread by the end of when you're 18. So, and just take those threads with you throughout your life. You're going to have, Mary, how many threads do you think you have, different colors?
No idea.
Too many.
Yeah,
I'm looking here at just 2 boxes of thread.
Maybe 14.
Right. I have so many. I have one container that I bought just to hold thread, and it filled up, and so I had to get another. Thread is and then I buy material that doesn't match any of the thread I already have. It's terrible. So it's a big circle. You're going to have lots of thread, and you're going to have lots of little material. And never throw that away, because we're going to make a project probably in about 6 or 8 months with some of those scraps. So that is a little teaser for you. Make sure you keep your scraps, because we're going to use them. And then if you haven't kept your scraps, you're going to have to go buy more material. And okay, so you're going to make the pattern. This tells you how to draw your pattern out. 16 inches by 16 inches, one rectangle that's 14 inches by 16 inches, one rectangle that's 1.5 inches by 24 inches. Now, if you're going to be using pencils, you're going to want to alter these measurements, and that's something that you'll need to let us know, and we can help you change those measurements, okay? And so this is just the directions. You're going to go through this, and it's pretty self-explanatory, and there are some little pictures here to help you. The only thing I would caution you, and I think that all of your parents sew, and they will be able to help you with this, but I would caution you that when you sew a straight line like this one here, and you get to that corner, you want to make sure that you bury your needle into the material before you pick your presser foot up and turn that material to a 90-degree angle, because if not, you're going to not be where you need to be when you put your presser foot back down, and it's going to be a struggle. So make sure your needle is buried into the material before you turn to go around a corner. And it's going to show you how to.
Hey, Prudence,
Yes, ma'am.
we can put that on the website to show them
Yes,
how to make a corner.
I'll add a video. If you guys have never perused the Sailrite YouTube channel, he has excellent videos on there. He says Sailrite kind of strange, but if you can get over that, you're good. It's awesome videos, very, very good instructional videos that they have. And so this tells you then how to go about it. Now, here's the thing. You want to make sure that you don't sew this flat, because otherwise your pencil, your crayon, your knitting needle, whatever it is not going to fit in here. So you're going to have to allow for that and make sure you remember to allow for that. If you don't remember to allow for that, what do you need?
Oop, I know.
Grace?
Seam ripper.
Seam ripper, yes. So here's the thing about a seam ripper. Seam rippers are going to be your friend. And I know it's going to hurt your feelings to sew something and then have to cut all your stitches out and sew it again. It's just part of it. I have been working on a quilt for 3 years, and it's a big quilt. But I've come at it with my seam ripper several times, and it's disheartening because when you have to take a whole line out, it's very upsetting. But that's part of it. We learn from our mistakes and we start over. Okay, so that is where our projects are on the website. And then I'm going to go back to our website. And again, this area of our website is going to grow. And I invite you all to make sure and watch these videos and utilize the information in the website, because that's going to help us learn what y'all need. And we're going to probably add a form to the website so that you guys can say, hey, I want to make a ... whatever it is that you want to make. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the video real quick, and then we can be ourselves. So thanks for coming and watching. We're just going to chat for a couple more minutes, and we're going to stop the sharing of the screen, and then I'm going to stop the recording.